Welcome to episode 7 of the monthly cover podcast, the podcast where we, the four of us, cover songs. I'm Roger.
I'm Sammy.
I'm Joshua. And I'm also here. I'm Declan. Hello.
And so we have done various challenges over the past few months. The challenge for this month was the genre swap challenge. So like, take a song that you love, or a song that you don't love, and change the genre to something else. And it was more challenging than I thought it would be when I kind of came up with it. What did you guys think?
Definitely the toughest challenge.
Yeah.
There's definitely a significant upping of the ante for this month, certainly.
I mean, I think it's no surprise to you that I don't really believe in genre beyond like the very broadest of signifiers.
Ah,
you don't believe in genre, man.
What's
and
genre, dude?
Yeah, I tend to change genres anyway when I do covers. So like this was This is very kind of like, I can't just take a quiet song and make it a rock song. God, I have to think.
Got to take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let it into your heart,
and then you can start.
Yeah,
to
but
make
what
it
is
better.
a genre though?
Well, even it's a genre.
I am a genre.
Like, because beyond like broad signifiers like rock, pop, rap, things like that. Like once you get into the nitty gritty of it, like would like have making a prog song, a punk song worked, for example.
Yeah.
Basically, Roger, stop trying to put labels on things.
I know.
So
Why can't you
just
just let music be this weird amorphous mass in the center of our ears?
I mean, yeah, I struggled with it. I was going to go for one thing before I landed on mine. I mean, I only had the one before I settled on my actual genre, so I'll say it was like I was going to try and turn something into a 80s like love ballad, like power ballad, with the big gated reverb drums and stuff. What about you guys? Any stuff you threw out?
I won't give away my. I've always had the genre I've switched it to in place, so I won't give that away.
Cool.
But like songs I tried to make work. Like initially I was trying to change kind of like new metal to something else. So I was looking at like a lot of Linkin Park songs.
Oh, sweet.
It just couldn't get it to work.
Right.
Could not get it to work.
Similarly, I sort of ended up using the same genre that I changed to, but like one of the songs that I was trying to get was Griff, Black Hole. There's a big black hole. I just couldn't make it work because it's got quite a wide range, quite a narrow voice. So it's trying to find something else that sort of worked in that same sort of mode.
Makes sense.
This was definitely I think the month that had the most like restarts or like attempted tries at this. Like I think I started it like a couple of days after. That's why I feel like I really left this one long, because for once I didn't just wait until the final week to start.
Yeah.
I like tried, didn't work, and then I guess I've been in panic mode for longer because like I felt like 2 weeks in we were like, oh my, are we recording this weekend? I haven't done anything. I'm like, oh no, we've still got 2 weeks like till we do it. So it was definitely its hardest one yet, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
I felt like I think the fact that it was like you can pick any song what genre for a bit. I think it's like almost too wide because it's every song ever. Now change it
And change it to any
Well, it's like
genre.
even I know it's like it's probably easy to be like I can pick any song. Be like I can pick any song.
Well,
just like the panic in that.
No constrictions is more hard to choose than constrictions.
But it's almost like it's hard because there is that very distinct like pick a song, do it differently, but it was super open in that sense. So it was the most challenging one we've had to do yet, but also I guess the most open because there was no restriction to what song you could do and what you could change it to.
Yeah.
So it really left it open, but also made it quite hard.
Yeah, for the start of the month, I had like every week I had a different idea, and I was like, I can't do any of this. So one of them I had like I was going to do "Hungry Like the Wolf" by Duran Duran, but in the style of Johnny Cash.
I can hear that.
Yeah. So, my issue was I tried it once, and because Johnny Cash is very conversationalist country, and the following week I was like, I want to do "One More Time" by Daft Punk in like the style of Jason Mraz.
One more time, we got. Yeah.
So like it's a bit more like soulful, a bit more like surfer, like gonna celebrate it, oh yeah, alright, don't stop the dance. I thought I'd try and think of random stuff like that because the genre thing kept throwing me off until I landed on what I got, because I thought it'd be more fun to be like in the style of someone because that's easiest to like visualize sometimes.
That was the starting point for my one as well. It moved away slightly from that at the end, but yeah, that was kind of my hook into what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
it's interesting though, because that kind of is what genre is these days, really, isn't it? It is less clear cut than perhaps it used to be. Genre these days, kind of coming back to what Declan said, but not joking about it, is that, you know, the artist is kind of the genre these days.
I thought,
in a way, isn't it?
I thought of that when you said about Linkin Park, because like you can't really extrapolate like Linkin Park being like raps and like emo melodies.
Exactly.
If you know
I've
what I
always
mean.
thought it's like kind of like new metal, that kind of like 2000s kind of like
Limp Bizkit era.
Yeah, kind of. But again, Linkin Park. Yeah, at Linkin Park, it's its own fucking thing.
But like that,
Like,
that's
you
interesting.
can't put it in a box of like this is this, and I guess so many artists these days, the younger artists at least, are really trying to break out of like genre, I guess.
And good on them.
Yeah.
Tally ho.
Good for you. But that's why I thought this, like, picking a style as like, in the style of someone, because I don't know if anyone's watched like the videos of the chap who does like the 10-second songs, where it's like, this song is styled 20 different artists.
Oh yes, I have seen that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's,
like,
like-
shorts on YouTube. I think, yeah.
It was like done like a video of like, it's like System of a Down in the style of like other rock artists, like in the style of Aqua, obviously Barbie Girl and stuff like that. So I tried to focus more on like that, and then eventually I was like, screw it, I will pick a genre. And my last song, I was like, okay, so now I've landed on something that's like interesting enough to be like, that's almost too different for me. So that's where I'm at with mine.
Awesome.
So I think it's more fun that way.
Well, Declan, you're up first this month. What have you bought?
What have you done?
So,
What did you do?
What have you done?
you will be asking
How
that.
could you do this?
So the song that I've brought this week is this month is a song that I've actually considered covering on the challenge before. It's Padam Padam by Kylie Minogue, and it's done in sort of like a jazzy, loungy sort of style.
Ooh.
And there is a phaser on a piano.
Awesome.
Goes like this.
Hey.
You look like fun to me. You look a little like somebody I know, and I can tell you how this ends. I'll be in your head all weekend. Shivers and butterflies. I get the shivers when I look in your eyes, and I can tell that you're all in, 'cause I can hear your heart beating. Padam, 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 I hear it and I know. Padam, padam, I know you wanna take me home. Padam, and get to know me close. Padam, padam, when your heart goes. Padam, padam, I hear it and I know. Padam, padam, I know you wanna take me home. Padam, and take off all my clothes. Padam, padam, when your heart goes. Padam. This place is crowding up. I think it's time for you to take me out this club. We don't need to use our words. Wanna see what's underneath that t-shirt. Shivers and cold champagne. I get the shivers every time you say my name, and I can tell that you're all in, 'cause I can hear your heart beating. 'Cause I can hear your heart beating. Padam, padam, I hear it and I know. Padam, padam, I know you wanna take me home. Padam, and get to know me close. Padam, padam, when your heart goes. Padam, padam, I hear it and I know. Padam, padam, I know you wanna take me home. Padam, and take off all my clothes. Padam, padam, when your heart goes. Padam.
So that was Declan's song, Padam Padam by Kylie Minogue.
Yep.
Did I say it right?
Padam,
Yes, you did,
Padam.
yes.
Padam Padam.
It doesn't sound like a heartbeat though.
The end
When you
bit,
say it
yeah.
with an Australian accent, you do.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
No,
It is an old thing. It has been used in jazz standards before, so it's not unique to Kylie.
Is that what inspired you to go jazz with it because of that previous use?
No, what I was trying to do was trying to do a song in the style of Peggy Lee Fever, for some reason, which is I sort of got that recorded and I actually listened to Fever again afterwards, and I realised like, oh damn, it's all in the drums. Like that bass line is doing a lot of work, but it's the drums that really sell that song. There are none in there. Whoops. But also this song is more harmonically complex, so that's why you end up with like that jazzy sort of piano in there. So yeah,
it's nice.
Thank you.
Nice feel.
Drums went in there. You know what it was? Vibra Slap.
Yes, it's got to be in
You
every
caught it at
single
the
song.
Is it in
Yeah.
every cover you've done so far?
Yes,
E.
and
I
it will
love
continue
that.
to be in every cover so far as I go.
So when the listeners, for us, just timestamp where you think it will be, and you win a prize.
I mean, it's fairly obvious where it is.
On the rest of and every other show that comes up, and the past shows.
You win a free Vibra Slap if you
Yeah.
guess the
Free
correct.
I'm not paying for a Vibra Slap.
I was wondering with this one, like, because it's so jazzy and jazz often like incorporates like more like dense compounds of chords. Did you like change the chords? Like
Yes,
when
very much so.
a
Have you
major
not
would
heard the
become a
original
major
song?
different.
Couldn't
I'm
even
actually
pronounce
not
it.
familiar with it, to be honest with you.
No.
Oh, it was a big hit a couple of years ago. Massively changed the chords. So there's like a suspended G throughout all of them, and then the F is changed to an F7 sus2 in the chorus. B flat minor is changed to B flat minor 6. Then a C sharp 4, and then whatever on earth I wanted to stick on top of an E flat chord.
In other words, we're not getting a copyright claim this time.
Well, you never know.
For the melody, there was like, wait a minute, this sounds familiar. Probably
Well,
not though.
It's also like the whole thing of putting the jazz chords in there is because like it's so difficult to just sing that song just over the bass notes because it moves slightly non-diatonically, i.e. it moves outside its key sequence, and the bass line doesn't actually, or at least the bass line that I put on there, doesn't outline what the chords are.
Okay.
So like the first chord works okay because you've got an F, and then you start the first note on an A, you look, which is the third, so you can assume that it's an F major. After that, who knows?
All bets are off.
Yeah, which is why the piano comes in at that point.
I love it. All good all round. I like it a lot.
I just kept this. I think it was like there's a bit in it where it's like for some reason I was thinking that you could mash it into a what's it called? Is it Kaiser Chiefs? Yes, I know, I feel it in my bones. In the middle, just the bit. I think it's the choppiness of how you were saying it. I don't know if it's like the same. I can't remember the original for Kaiser.
No, the original is much more straight on the beat and everything.
Yeah.
This is a bit more swung. So
Yes, I know, I feel it in my bones. There's the next jazz cover. It had that kind of little ring in the middle. I was like, oh, that's quite
I
nice.
think that's Declan's voice though,
Yeah.
because some of your stuff sounds like Franz Ferdinand as well.
yes.
And it's
I
all
do
that,
quite like that.
thousands.
I do quite like that early noughties guitar boom. Has it come across in any way,
Well, that's the
shape, or
normal
form?
genre.
It's the
what
way you
you
sing
do
as well.
You know.
Yeah.
It kind of has that kind of.
It reminds me of the 2 months ago where he's done the thing where it's like, oh, this is definitely not Coldplay. It sounds like another song when it's played as well.
Oh, the Keen one.
Yeah, where it's
Yeah.
like that came in, it was like, that sounds like Viva La Vida a little bit.
Yeah, it did.
And that obviously got me in the middle there. I was like,
So if you can go back through all of the other songs and sort of spot where I've nicked from noughties guitar bands, if you can find one in the Major General song, I'll be very impressed with you.
never know. Someone will.
Yeah, you were saying while we were listening to it, it's got a very deep bass on it. Part of that is just EQing the hell out of it to try and get it as close to a double bass as I could. Doesn't work. But also part of that was just like I had not this hoodie, another hoodie. I have more than one hoodie. What luxury! But sticking the sleeve of that underneath the bridge, between the bridge and the pickup, so that it really muted down. The chords, so you weren't getting boom boom. You were getting boom boom. Really sucking the life out of it, but for that kind of like a slightly more downbeat feel kind of thing.
It reminds
Really
me of
cool, that.
like
Good
the sound
idea.
where you used to have your viola bass had the black strings on it.
That was
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of secondary sort of thing that I was trying to
Yeah.
go for. Like,
Whereas like the sound would just boom, and just
Yeah,
flat
that was also
immediately.
because the nut was broken as
Yeah.
well.
true.
But yeah, that also didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could picture you in a sparkly red dress in a seedy
Hang on, wait a
underground
minute.
bar.
Well, my clothes fancy, but the place that I'm playing is
I don't
seedy.
know. It's just a little place, little smoky.
Well, that's why we had these for a
smoky
minute. It
kind
was
of
just like
speakeasy.
that's what we were doing.
You're in the corner
Yeah.
on a tiny little stage singing that song.
Play that same song. dang. Yeah.
Sure thing, sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you really, you're
It is
right. Because like there is
speakeasy.
a real atmosphere to it.
Yeah.
How did you go about like establishing that? Or like kind
Like
of,
you
I
turn
guess,
my joke into a real question.
or like more like
yes,
how did you
well,
kind of like shape the genre?
Well, I listened to Peggy Lee Fever, and I thought that's dope. I'd like to do that, please. So, like,
So you had a template to work off, yeah.
yeah, and like Padam Padam is about like being at a club and sort of like getting attracted to someone and wanting to take them home. So it's kind of in a similar thematic sort of realm. So, like thinking like, okay, what if you stop making this a club thing, and what if you start making it a, a sultry kind of slow burn sort of thing like that. So
Yeah,
it's
very
just-
very speakeasy. Not like the I try to think of not the like Bud X show, for example, where it's like the slow pace, where it's like the seediness of that as well. It's like come home with me kind of vibe.
And then just the final stage is just the noisemakers, the percussion. Love doing all that stuff.
What have you got layered there?
So we've got shakers, we've got sand blocks, we have got the vibra slap, obviously, king of all instruments. We have got finger clicks, we have got tambourine twice, we have got claves in there as well. And the claves are run through a delay, which sort of gives them that sort of stuttered sort of effect.
Oh,
on
that's
them.
what that is. I thought you had castanets.
No. If anyone would like to buy me castanets, please do. I'd like
We're
some.
very poor. We're working musicians.
Yeah. Patreon.net.
Not yet. One
Not
day.
yet. One day.
Yeah, really came together nicely.
Thank you.
How long did it
Good.
take?
About 2 hours.
And when do you do it?
Yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to ask.
Really good.
No, sorry, not yesterday. Friday evening.
Very cool. Very
You
cool.
ruined the streak doing it like very last minute.
Well, because this was such a difficult challenge, because this could have gone tits up quite badly, I felt I needed at least this time to
Give
have the
myself at
one
least
extra day.
An extra day, Jesus.
Just a wiggle room just for that day, and that was it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's that one.
Amazing.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Josh,
Oh
you're
my
up.
god, it's me.
What have you bought us, and then what's the genre swap?
Padam Padam in a sultry jazz
Rock
club.
style. New metal style.
No, so no. Well, I guess what we landed on was because I just kept struggling. So I came to the point where I was like, I need a song I know inside out to kind of make this work, because I just didn't have the brain power to learn a brand new song and then subvert it into something different.
Oh yeah.
So we stuck with country, and we went with the country song, Country Roads.
Ideal.
So we've got Country Roads, and we've subverted that into, and get your laptops out, get ready to chill out and study, because we've changed Country Roads into lo-fi.
Oh,
I called it.
Lo-fi music.
so good.
Before we started filming as well, he was like, well, it might be this.
I looked out the window
You're like,
when you said it. I was just like,
Can you
yeah,
imagine he was like, no.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something?
yeah, that'd be crazy if I did lo-fi. Yeah. Jesus.
Oh,
But here it is.
So that was Josh's cover for this month. That was Country Roads done in the lo-fi style.
Everyone's still awake.
Yeah.
So
Calm down,
cool.
will
I've
you?
got so much studying done. It's unreal.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
heart rate's gone way down as well.
Yeah, I always knew I was going to do lo-fi. I think you said I did. I may have mentioned it
At the end of the last
month
podcast.
briefly, and I forgot I'd said that. Yeah, it's an interesting genre. So because it's so sparse, there's very much some like kind of key like beats that you kind of need to follow to make it lo-fi. So yeah, it needs to be really sparse. There's that kind of that crackle and vinyl, almost like kind of out of tune kind
Chords in some
of
way.
sound to it as well. Hardest part really was, I mean, lo-fi as a genre typically doesn't have any vocals on it. It tends to be like, if you hear lo-fi, there tends to be something carrying a melody, like a piano tune or something.
I suppose words are distracting if you're studying.
rather than actual singing, because I guess that's more distracting because you'll lock into that more. So the vocal was the hard challenge, I think, part of it really, and I think for me as well, keeping it very sparse and not, because I think my early attempts at this song, I was doing too much, so it sounded too busy. So then all of a sudden it just sounded like bad out of tune music. But then actually suddenly when I slowed it down and I was just playing the piano chords and just doing very basic bass, and then filling the void with atmosphere, and then adding the vinyl crackle and the kind of the warp to it, suddenly I was just like, oh cool, it's lo-fi, nice.
You just reach that point like, oh my god, I can study.
Yeah, this is chill.
Yeah, you can hear it in the chords where it's like country boo a little bit, where some of the notes come in like
so
that.
that specific part on the piano, that comes from one of the Labs plugin that has very much a I can't think, it was part of like a kind of computerized like MIDI cassette piano kind of plugin.
So already gone through cassette and sampled from it, perhaps?
It was sampled through a cassette, I think, through cassette, and then I kind of amped that up a little bit. The whole track as well then has a this very specific, it's like one of the lo-fi plugins. So I just chucked that on the master. Then that allowed me to basically control the it basically puts a record player kind of kind of audio over the top of it, which is where you're getting the crackle from. I could control the RPM of the record, what era the record was kind of from, the amount of wear on the record, and the amount of warp to it as well. So it was kind of just getting that, because you could really go crazy with it. So, but it was trying to get it in a nice kind of world that yeah, like sounded like lo-fi.
Was that on the master channel or just the piano? Or?
That was on the master, and then that kind of like that nature atmospheric kind of bird. That it was quite nice actually. All that was just a single A note throughout the entire song. But the plugin that had the atmosphere on it, it kept like warping in and out. That's when you hear it come in really loud at one point with like the bird chirping, but the rest of the time it's actually much more sort of mellow and soft. But it just came in at random times that I wasn't even controlling when it came, because it literally just was one MIDI. I pressed it like boop and then dragged it across the entire track, and it just automatically kind of gave it. But that was too clean, so again that was kind of added. And then everything on the track, every track is EQ'd with a high and a low pass to kind of take out that high fidelity bass and high. So it's all mid. Especially on my voice, I did it multiple times.
Oh wow! Okay.
And added a lot of, again, more cassette kind of reverb as well to my voice, and then again just take out all of the even more like highs and lows, so that my voice was.
You get very close to that sort of megaphone sound.
Exactly, and also I didn't sing it well. I made an effort to go really close, so it was breathy and crappy, and then so I sang it like that really quietly, kind of just one take, like that's good enough, and then I took the volume right down, but I kept turning the gain up, so the gain is really fucking high, but then the volume's just down to kind of take that out to the point where it started to distort as well, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh cool, this sounds like what I think lo-fi vocals would sound like if lo-fi had singing.
You really nailed the production. It must have taken a bit of research. Like, okay, what actually makes up a... I don't know.
As much as that only took me 2.5 hours to make, I spent a good chunk of the month like researching and understanding how do you make lo-fi music, because I've never made.
When you were studying how to do it, did you have lo-fi beats to study to on?
Well, I listen to lo-fi a lot.
Oh, you do?
I listen to lo-fi quite a bit when I'm working.
Oh, okay.
Just because it is just like, you know, I think it's like the modern classical music in the sense of people use classical music like to study to. I always remember that was a recommendation when we were doing exams and stuff. It's like listen to classical music whilst you're studying, because it's kind of just good background and kind of focuses you. But I think lo-fi is kind of the
taken over a little bit more
modern version of that. So yeah, I listened to it a lot, but it was cool to actually understand, right, this is how it works, these are the effects that you use and how to sort of to make it. But yes, there's not a real instrument on there. The only real thing on there is my voice. Everything else is done via MIDI. The whole thing, plugins and inserts and things.
Well, if you want a secondary career as a lo-fi producer, I think you've got it. So
yeah, no,
you really mastered
James
it.
Lo-Fi Station.
It could be, yeah. No, it's fun. It's nice.
Because I was liking the vocal line as well, because I think it's either the harmony or the baritone where it's like shining over a river.
Oh, that's like, just well, I kind of listened. I had it done, just kind of straight. But I even I agreed, like, oh, it's too boring. So I thought, like, okay, right, in the little bit where the song does kind of change into that kind of that middle pre-chorus, you know, I hear a voice in the morning now, she calls me, the radio reminds me of my home far away. I thought, okay, I've got to do something different there. So I thought, actually, the bass just kind of just plays around. I
really love what you did with that bass line,
and it's not really that planned. I literally just looked at the MIDI lines of the chords that were already there, and just thought, like, right, let's just what I did was I deleted the bass I'd done. I copied the MIDI chords from the piano bit, moved it into the bass line. So then I basically had bass, but then I just like, right, I'll keep the root, but then I'll go third, fifth, and then it just plays around with the thirds and the fifths.
It walks around really nicely,
and it was very just random. I didn't necessarily pick a pattern to it. I just like boom, 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 and then just press play and went, oh, that's cool,
definitely.
And then that's when I went, cool, I'm done.
Well, particularly because the bass has been kind of really on one level throughout the thing, and then all of a sudden the bridge or whatever it is, middle eight, comes around, and it's like it's all of a sudden dancing around. It's like, sweet.
It's the only interesting bit of the song. Otherwise, but that's kind of the point of the genre is to be unoffensive and just there in the
In the
background.
background,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. It's not supposed to. I mean, like the perfect thing with me was when my wife listened to it, she asked me about 2 minutes in, "How long is this?" But to me, that was just like as much as that. It's like, oh, fine. But it's good because that's what it's supposed to be.
It's
You're
an
supposed
authentic
to,
reaction.
you're not
to
supposed to
the
just
genre.
stand there and listen to it like we just did. That is designed
Yeah, we're
to be
actively listening to it, not
yeah,
passively
exactly.
in the background.
It's designed to be passive in the background whilst you're doing something else.
Hence, no
It's not
drum
supposed to be
fills,
noticeable. Yeah, exactly.
You know,
It's the
no
same,
giant
same
harmonies.
drum beat.
Yeah.
And again, that was a new drum instrument I used.
What
This,
was it?
again,
It sounded so
I can't think
crisp.
what it's called.
It sounded like an analog drum machine, like a for real
Yeah, but
hardware.
it basically was that. Is there's no real like drum beats in that. But again, with that also you could mess around with the feel of it. And again, that it was a drum machine designed for lo-fi music.
Oh, okay,
There were
right.
way more like weird and wonderful like noises it could make.
Oh, cool.
I think that
Might
is the
have
only
to let it
thing
go.
that gives it away. That obviously it's a song that you've done is the extra bass line. If it was just like that same pattern all the way through, it'd just be like, it is just a lo-fi song that's already been out for years.
Exactly.
But that's why like the only thing that makes it more you is like giving it something extra.
Yeah,
I
it
need to change this up
it
rather than
needed
be like
something.
I need to be just basic background music.
Yeah.
Rather than be like, no, this is my song as well.
How hard was it to like lo-fi-ize Country Roads as a song?
The Fire.
Really easy because I tried it with other songs with like metal and stuff like that. Where I ran into problems there, and I tried other country songs as well. Lo-fi is typically within like kind of 50 to 80 BPM.
Oh, okay.
So anything else, you've got to really slow it down. And I just found other songs like when I was trying Linkin Park, it's just too fast. And then when you take it down to that slow point, it's then too slow.
Drags a
It's
bit.
like you're pacing whilst trying to sing. It's just it's there's too much. Whereas when I came to Country Road, just like okay, we're already in around like 95. It wasn't much of a stretch to bring it down to like 70. I think was where I'm at in the end on that one. But otherwise, it was just a case of just taking, because lo-fi is so sparse, all I needed was just the chords and then just to play it through.
Yeah.
And then that was 90% of it anyway. I was planning to do more, but once I just played the chords out on piano, I just got the sense of like, I'm already 50% of the way here already. Just adding that vinyl effect to it, taking out the highs and the lows. That's lo-fi music.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Yeah. I think the only way to like really, if you want to make an album of this, is like you have to pick in country songs, like songs that either have super short or very sparse lyrics.
Yeah.
That way, it's like I'm just picking out the best chorus.
Well,
or verse,
what I
and
would
then
do not for this. I only sang on this challenge because I think it's a given that we're singing and kind of doing a bit more to it. If I was doing a lo-fi album or like a beat, I would take my voice out and replace it with a different machine that's just making the noise of the vocal line rather than actually being sung. I think that would work better for the genre.
I'm trying to imagine if you did it with like, you know, when you did the Steppenwolf last week, where it's like you put your voice through the thing. So
yeah.
It was
like a sampler.
Sample the.
I wonder if it's way to do
sure.
a mini mix up of that kind of style where it's like lo-fi and then just like the vocals are just for like small songs if you want a bit of vocals.
Yeah, I did think about doing something like that, but in the end I just thought, let's try and do vocals.
Crushed it anyway.
Try and do vocals
Yeah,
for
you really
lo-fi.
did. And having just the EQ'd vocals, really like shelved EQ, it works perfectly for it. So,
Thank you.
yeah. Sammy.
Yeah.
Unless there's anything else we want to touch on.
No,
with
I
that.
think
Didn't mean to
we've
just
covered
pivot there.
everything,
Yeah.
really.
Sammy, what have you?
I nailed the
bought
guess
this
though. I was like,
You
yes.
did, yeah.
Yeah, I never would have guessed that genre, Josh.
As soon as you mentioned it last week, I was like, I bet you to try and study it for another
Yeah.
month. I had a little inkling of being like, maybe.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So yeah, I unfortunately have matched genres with someone this week,
Oh my god.
and it's not lo-fi. Sorry. So I have made a lounge / jazz-ish cover. It's like the first time I've sat down. I don't have a piano, so it's going to come out however it's going to sound. But I've done a cover of Cherry Pie by Warrant
Amazing.
in like a slow jazz doo-woppy kind of style. I thought it would be funny because I'm like, there's only one chord in it, so I can't fuck up too badly.
Oh man, that's awesome.
So it's nice and simple, and here's how it sounded.
She's my cherry pie, cool drink of water, such a sweet surprise. Tastes so good, make a grown man cry. Sweet cherry pie, yeah. Swinging on the front porch, swinging on the lawn, swinging where we want, guess there ain't nobody home. Swinging to the left, swinging to the right. If I think about baseball, I'ma swing all night, yeah. Yeah. Swinging in the living room, swinging in the kitchen. Most folks don't, cause they're too busy bitching. Swinging in there, cause you wanted me to beat her, so I mix up the batter and she licked the beater. I scream, you scream, and y'all scream for her. Don't even try, cause I can't afford her. She's my cherry pie, cool drink of water, such a sweet surprise. Tastes so good, make it grow back right. Sweet cherry pie. She's my cherry pie, put a smile on your face, tell my smile. Looks so good, make it grow back right. Sweet cherry pie. Swinging to the drums, swinging to guitar, swinging to the bass in the back of my car. Ain't got the money, ain't got no gas, but we're good where we want, so we'll swing real fast. She's my cherry pie, cool drink of water, such a sweet surprise. Tastes so good, make it grow back right. Sweet cherry pie. She's my cherry pie, put a smile on your face, tell my smile. Looks so good, make it grow back right. Sweet cherry pie. Swing it. Swing it to the bathroom, swing it to the floor. Swing it so hard, we forgot to lock the door. It was a daddy standing 6'4", said, "You ain't gonna swing with my daughter no more." She's my cherry pie, cool drink of water, such a sweet surprise. Tastes so good, make it grow and cry. Sweet cherry pie. She's my cherry pie, put a smile on your face, 10 miles wide. Looks so good, make it grow and cry. Sweet cherry pie. Sweet cherry pie. Sweet cherry pie. Sweet girl.
All right, so that was Sammy's cover for this month for the Genre Swap Challenge. That was Cherry Pie done in what, jazz lounge style? Would you say?
Jazz lounge, I guess. Yeah, I was thinking more like it's like a live lounge band just doing it. Hence why there's so many mistakes in it, because I was like, if it's live in jazz, there's going to be like some oddities going on.
It did give like a Radio 1 live lounge kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
It's giving me like a swampy folk kind of vibe. But it's interesting you say that about like jazz and mistakes and things. Like, I remember seeing a jazz guitar player like play some of the most amazing stuff, and I went up to him afterwards and said, "Oh, that's really cool. How do you do that?" And he just goes, "Play as many notes as you can, move them about semitones at a time, as fast as you can, so no one can tell you've ever made a mistake."
Just keep on going. Just keep on trucking.
Jazz people don't know what they're doing.
Or they know exactly what they're doing, but they choose not
They
to.
don't even have to stay in the right key.
Yeah, they just play all the
Anything.
chromatic
What
notes.
is you?
Play it with conviction and it sounds right?
Exactly. So where did this one start then? Like, how did it come about?
So I randomly was just like, oh, I don't know what to do, because my last attempt was like I said, like Jason Mraz style, like One More Time, and I was like, I just couldn't like get like a vibe for it. It was a bit like weird, and randomly I was just like looking for like I sometimes go on YouTube and look for covers of songs, and it was like someone doing like acoustic cover of Warrant, and I was like, I haven't heard the song in ages. I wonder if this will work or something. And I played some ideas. I was like, maybe I could like slow it down, make a like chill version, like a beach version, and do stuff. And I was like, well, it's oddly like there's nothing much to it. I said it's like pretty much one chord except the sweet cherry pie. And I was like, oh, maybe I could do that. I started playing. I was like, oh, that doesn't sound right for some reason. Like when I was playing it, but obviously I was doing it on like acoustic guitar. Then I realised I put it in a minor chord. I changed from a major to a minor. So now it's like jazz style, being like it's now like.
Oh, you're doing the whole thing in a minor, where it's originally "She's my cherry pie," which is major.
She's my cherry pie, cold in the water, such a sweet surprise. It's like very like upbeat and up tone. Whereas like she's my cherry, like very do.
She's my cherry. Yeah. You're doing.
So it's all
that's interesting.
It's gone from E to E minor anyway.
So you did what Declan did, change the chords, or the chord, I suppose.
The single chord they had, and then just done that, and I was like, okay, that sounds fine. And I was like, oh, well, the time I recorded it was like the Monday, Tuesday of like actually doing it after last weekend. But I had like a whole weekend worth of shows, and I missed out on our friend's birthday party, which, bummer. But I needed to work as well. And I had no voice at the end of it, so I was like recording, and I was like, maybe I'll get away with doing this. Hence why the first line is like, she's mad, like really straining. Then the next day I was like, I'm a bit better, so I can do the harmonies. So it's like that kind of smoky jazz, like
kind of worked in your favour then, having the
bossy vocals for a day. But luckily it's all in one key, like one note. It's like it's nice and easy. And just on guitar did that. Then started doing the bass. I got one good bass riff in.
That bass lick.
Yeah, just in the middle, like do 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 do. I was like, I did it once. I tried it a second time, couldn't do it. Tried it third time, couldn't do it again. Tried fourth time, couldn't do it again. The first one's the first one. That's it.
That's like the ultimate thing. Always record your first take.
Yeah,
always.
I was trying to like repeat it, be like, oh no, I need to sound like louder, or maybe I don't like the tone of it. And I was like, I forgot to EQ it later another time, and then just throw it in and just be like, oh, I like that. Kind of cut out and be like, okay. It would be like the jazz bass thing being like the instruments get their own time to shine in different moments. Then I forgot about that and was like, that's the only bit, carry on.
Drums and percussion were nice. How'd you get those?
So that is just my cajon at home, and then beatboxing as well.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So I didn't realise I was like, as I was like exporting it, I was going, but EQ'd it wrong, so it sounds like.
Oh.
So that's how it sounds on this. It's not actually me clicking at all.
Oh, right.
I didn't realise it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. It's fine. This is jazz. It's all mistakes, baby. Right in there. And then, just vocal lines and the harmonies were just like real, like not too bad, especially with the one key. And then sweet cherry pie. And then it was just the fucking key change at the end. I was ballsing up so badly.
What inspired that key? Sorry, I'm like hogging questions, but like one last one. It's like, how did that like? What inspired the key change? Like,
well, it's in the original.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so they just go like at the very end of the song. It's like all night long, ain't gonna swing with my daughter no more. She's my child. So it does the same key change, and I was like, okay, so it goes from E to A. I'll give it a try. Hence why like my vocal was like so quiet and so like strained at the end, because I'm like, nope. That's not a thing I should record. I was like, oh, maybe I'll do it lower, and then I'll like pitch shift it. That didn't sound right either. So I was like, I guess I'm just gonna go for it, and just managed to pump it out. Then I was the very end. I think I got my main male vocal like on top of the final like bit to be like, it sounds a bit like, because I'm so trying to strain so thin. I was like, oh, maybe I'll add an extra vocal line to do like the swing it girl at the end. So it's like one piece. Like the lead singer will come back in to like join the reprise at the end. So I just did what I could, I guess.
Worked out great, I think.
Yeah. Just the bass is like super heavy. My acoustic guitar sounded fine, and there's like a bit in it where I'm like doing the like reverse from the sweet cherry pie. Okay, it's descending, but I'm actually going like ascending on the guitar, going beep 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 in the background. Even that has mistakes, so I was like, nope, my fingers are too fat and I keep hitting the wrong note, but it's fine. So came all together, I think, and
it was a very different vibe from the original.
I always felt bad because you was like, I don't lounge version. I was like,
that's fine. I don't think this is like the sultry kind of like You're not trying to be Peggy Lee here.
Yeah,
you're
not
trying to
quite-
be someone else.
Yeah. Not quite the yellow card this week. You're like, oh, you're close. 2 genres match.
Are we doing it for genres?
Well, it's similar, aren't they? So
I mean, if you've done a lo-fi song, Roger, then we're in trouble.
Oh god, then I get a yellow card. I don't even know what that entails. The
no, we still haven't agreed. We just keep
Yeah,
saying
we
it.
just keep talking about
it's just this threat that looms over
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah.
Because one day it will happen. We'll be like, I guess we'll find out next week what that means, and then forget about it. So we'll be fine.
Yeah, right, exactly. No, really cool.
Yeah. But I'm just happy I came up with something this week, and I was like, after all the failed attempts at something else, because it's hard to be like, thinking of a song like that, because I'm like, I haven't heard this in ages. But then when it's a challenge, it's like any song you could possibly think of. I'm not going to remember stuff like that.
So going for something with one chord was a good way to go.
Yeah, it's either that or Electric Avenue. 1 chord challenge. Here they go.
Oh dear. Everyone bagsy Tomorrow Never Knows if we do that.
Yeah.
Oh, mine would be Rubber Band Girl by Kate Bush. That's like 1 chord all the way through. 1 chord month coming up.
Or the fewest chord month would probably be easier.
Just do what's that
John
silent
Cage
piece?
433.
Yeah, just
no
do
chords at all.
Yeah.
no sound whatsoever.
What's the instructions for that one? Like, sit at your instrument, prepare to play, and don't.
I still find it hilarious that Frank Zappa covered that.
Just do this is my song with no chords at all, but it's just me recapping this podcast.
Right.
And it'd be like, I'm covering podcast episode number 7.
Yeah.
I'd do everyone voices.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hi, welcome to the show.
Yeah. Technically no chords, except when the music plays. Damn it. Cut it out. So yeah, Roger, what have you brought to the table?
Well, I chose to do Big Yellow Taxi by Joni Mitchell,
Hey.
in the style of 50s rock and roll, like Little Richard.
Cool.
Fair play.
And it sounds like this.
Swinging hot spot.
That was Roger's song. Big Yellow Taxi.
It was indeed.
Yes.
Definitely had the vibe.
Very
Rock and roll.
rock and roll.
Yeah, it was rock and roll.
That's basically just pairing it back to as few instruments as possible, you know?
And then sticking in the synthesizers at the end there as well.
I did that last night. I probably shouldn't have
They're
done
calling
that.
to you, just like, hey, haven't used us yet.
All of a sudden, there's this instrument from 1967 or something that wasn't invented. But yeah, I mean, like instrumentally wise, it was basically choosing. Like I was listening to a lot of Little Richard at the time. His first album, This Is Little Richard, is so good, and of course, it's like late 50s, I think. And it's just very minimal because they didn't record like with loads and loads of tracks and stuff back
It's
then.
mainly piano and bass and a bit of drum kit, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can't even really hear the drum kit too well in Little Richard because obviously they're not doing it the way they do these days with like 2 overheads, 3 snared mics and what have you.
Well, it's 4-track and 8-track days, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of engineering back then was just like stick a mic in the middle of the room. Oh, we can't hear enough of the horn players. Put the mic closer to them and further away from the drum kit or something.
That's all over like things like the Motown sound. I know it's a bit later, but like it gives an incredible energy.
Same philosophy, I think, that with the Motown stuff. Yeah, like Berry Gordy and that. But so I went for drums. I went for bass, piano, electric guitar, and vocal, and of course the 3 backing vocals. So just kept it really simple. Yeah, so I kind of thought Joni Mitchell because I thought rock and roll. That was my initial thought. After I thought like power ballads, that was my initial thing. Like I said at the beginning, and I thought, nah, I don't really fancy that. So I listened to Little Richard, and I was like, I want to do something like in that
This
style.
guy sounds like he's the future.
yeah, and like he's so much full of energy. So from that time on, this was the first week we were doing our covers, I started to just keep an ear out for like songs that used, because obviously rock and roll is you know, if you're playing an A major, A, D, E, A, you know what I mean, just those 3 chords is the 12-bar blues if you're playing an A. So I was just keeping my ear out for songs that like use those rock and roll chords, but maybe in a slightly different order, but just that I could rock and roll-ize. Initially, actually, I'm remembering now, I tried Paradise City by Guns N' Roses.
Interesting.
Take me down to the Paradise City where the
Grass is green and the girls are pretty. Ooh. But I couldn't quite get the groove to work. I tried a demo of it, but I couldn't quite get it to work. So then Big Yellow Taxi kind of came along. It was on shuffle or something. And I just started listening to that. And I thought, it's already kind of rock and roll-ish a bit, so I didn't have to go too far with it. It's more just building around what the original track already was. It's not that it is rock and roll, because if you guys are familiar with the Joni Mitchell one at all,
Yeah.
it's just like acoustic. It's like folk, basically, like
Yeah.
singer-songwriter sort of thing. But just adding drums to that. So did the drums in Exeter, and then added everything else over the course of the last week or so. An interesting thing with this is because I wanted just that energy rather than just like, let's try and get this perfect, you know. What I kind of tried to do was like, rather than like, okay, what's the exact bass line, how exactly does it go, I just kind of like practiced a little bit, kind of got a good feel for the bass and guitar and drums and all that sort of thing, and then just did everything in 1 or 2 takes, just like mistakes and all. Like if you listen to like the drums and stuff, there's bits where like it goes a little behind the beat, or like the fills aren't really perfect, but I was like, it's more about the energy than the perfect execution. So yeah.
I think it's with it, all the older music, even like you said, the down stuff I was doing with jazz, where it's like a bit more freeform, where he's like Little Richard, even back in the day, would be like, oh, if it's performed live or they have the live recording for any reason, there's like, this is how it sounds, done.
Yeah.
You might only have like a little bit of time to actually get a good recording of this.
Definitely, yeah, because you don't have like Pink Floyd hours in the studio where you're there for like 3 weeks up until midnight. Yeah, but it was fun, and it was like a case of getting in character a bit as well, you know, like doing the bass. Like, I don't know, it sounds corny, but like,
you can't record like a track like that and not give it beans when you get to the vocal.
exactly, yeah, you got to give it beans.
Yeah, as soon as you said Little Richard, I always remember like the old video of him doing Long Tall Sally.
Oh yeah,
where it's like the singers, and he's like on the piano, that goes, throws his arms around while playing, and comes back to the piano.
He's such a wild man. I really love Little Richard. It's so cool.
Yeah. That's why when that started as well, it's like we were like Chuck Berry. It's like, it's
Oh, yeah.
Marvin Berry.
There was a big.
That new sound you're looking for.
Here it is.
I mean, Chuck Berry is like a legend, but that was kind of what I tried to channel doing the guitar parts. Was like all that down, 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 down,
You
down.
kind of
down,
hear
down.
all those tropes of that kind of music.
It's very roll over Beethoven at the start.
Dumb
isn't it?
yeah.
You are the Marty McFly of the group, so
I mean, that was the fun thing. It was like not trying to be like original, like let me do rock and roll my way or anything. It was just like, yeah. The beginnings roll over Beethoven, no, and then when it kicks in, it's like Johnny Be Good, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like not any different.
It's almost a mashup, isn't it? Really, of the
Yeah,
two songs, rather
absolutely.
than like a genre swap.
Exactly.
You're kind of hammering the two together.
One
What if
other.
Johnny Be Good was?
What if Joni
Yeah,
Mitchell
yeah.
was active in
Yeah.
the 50s and in a rock and roll group?
I want to hear
Or she
that
travelled
record
as a
now.
Yeah.
That sounds so good. The only weird thing with this one is like when you get to they should go all the trees and put them in a tree museum. That's going 4 to the 1, which is opposite to how 12 Bar Blues usually goes. So that was a bit of like, okay, it's a bit awkward, and it almost put me off doing the song. But eventually, I was like, yeah, I think I can kind of make it work.
yeah. With that the backwards chords, I guess backwards in its own way, it reminds me of Hippie Hippie Shakes.
Oh yeah.
So it starts with the can't see still with hippie shakes on my babe. Like goes into the other way round as well.
Oh yeah.
So the old school stuff like that. So it is doable.
Yeah,
and
and it's
obviously
like-
you crack.
Like you
did
say,
that
there
as
is a
well.
precedent for
Yeah.
it. Yeah. But no, it's just fun. What else? Oh yeah, the backing vocals, the shoo wap 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 wap. Obviously, they're like an integral part of the song. So I kind of wanted to do them like, I know this isn't like strictly rock and roll. Maybe more to your point about Motown, Declan. But like, when you have like 3 backing vocalists, like Gladys Knight and the Pips, or like Supremes or whatever, and they're all like 3 and they're really in sync and they're just doing their thing. So I just did 1 track, 2 track, 3 track, and just kind of went through and did it as if I was those 3 singers, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, like in the back sort of thing. So I tried to just kind of be as authentic as I could with it. The only trouble is recording digitally, you don't really get that rock and roll sound, so it took a
You
bit
need
of
to
mixing.
roll off a little bit at the top and everything, and like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it just took a little bit of mixing time, but yeah, it's fun, real fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
We were doing the twist to the performance, so I believe that's the rock and roll.
Come on,
That's what they did. That's what the kids did.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I like that we've kind of all just taken it completely different directions. And I know you guys probably both did jazz, but you definitely did 2 different directions with it. And lo-fi was like, I did not see you doing lo-fi at all.
This will be his only style now for the rest of the show.
Yeah. I make lo-fi beats now to study to.
We'll leave his radio channel in the description. 10 hours loop.
10-hour loop. You could literally just
Yeah.
Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V.
Yeah,
Done.
that'd be great. Just like there you
Done.
go. Give it back to give it back to your wife and be like, oh, here's the proper version. 10 hours, so she can just have it in the background.
I
You
see.
must listen to it in one sitting.
Whereas, like, I love the idea of you having like an album, just like that style of being like, oh, like especially in the old days where it's like those artists covered pretty much the same kind of popular songs as well.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, you just pick it up, and go, oh, here's a little number for you, and do it in that style, but keep like picking songs that are like just more pop, like more recent, just put them back
Hey
that way as
gang,
well.
this is a song called Bad Romance by Lady Gaga.
Yeah. I want your love it and I want
My
your
most modern reference.
Make about a bad romance. Whoa,
Da ba
whoa,
da ba
whoa.
da ba da ba da
That's
ba
really
ba
cool.
da ba, calling the bad romance.
I like you said recent song, and then you picked a song that's
It's fair. It's more
like
recent.
at
It's
least
still
like
Little Richard.
it's 14 years old.
It's still more recent than Little Richard.
So yeah, in the grand scheme of things,
Yeah.
yes, but
What's like new? Chapel Roan? That's
Yeah.
my like newest artist I like. I don't know.
H-O-T-T-O-G. Oh, that's just the
You
original.
can take me hot to go. H-O-T-T-O-G-O. You can take me hot.
Go!
What's it to catch your number? What's it to catch you home?
That'd be really cool. But yeah,
Just go full baseballs on this.
Yeah.
I love them. Their cover of Umbrella, you heard that one?
Yeah.
By Rihanna, that's really good. I used to be obsessed with that cover. Speaking of covers,
What's ruin the next month of my life, Declan.
Okay.
What's
Give
the
me
challenge?
I have one of two options for you, which we shall discuss,
A
debate.
choice.
I like a
Yes.
choice.
Dun 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 dun.
So, the first option is pull up your music listening service, whether that be your MP3 player, the thing on your computer, your streaming service, if you're that particularly modern.
Can melt your chocolate out.
Get the most played songs. Pick one of those that's not been artificially inflated by like doing it for the cover challenge or anything like that. That's option number one. Option number two. Any song that's been in a film, but not a song that's been written for a film. So, for example, "Oh Pretty Woman" would count because that was written and then used for a film. "Tale as Old as Time" from Beauty and the Beast would not count because that was written specifically for Beauty and the Beast.
What about "I Want You Back"? It was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that wasn't written for Guardians of the Galaxy, so that's fine.
But what if they knew they were putting it in Guardians in like 40 years' time?
Well,
It might have been in the Jackson's contract. You never know.
unlikely, I'll say.
There will be a
Jackson's
film.
knew. They
So-
knew.
Director that isn't born yet, but I hope that he puts my
Into a
Ooh.
comic book that's not been written yet.
I like both options personally.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, flip a coin.
Do you have any particular preferences, one way or t'other?
Well, the only thing is, like, I've got my Apple Music, so I have to bring that up.
I think there's things you can.
Yeah, but
Well,
I
like, if
can't
you-
remember.
I think
you
there's
got,
things you can link your Apple Music to.
Yeah,
and then
that's the
it
only-
will tell you.
Because I don't have Spotify,
I
so that's the only
remember-
one I
I
have to double
remember-
check.
Neither do I. I just have like my CD rips on my computer and
Yeah.
the MP3s on my phone.
So I wonder if I can just check what I've been playing more recently and see if it pops up as well. And just be like, obviously, bring up my phone and be like, it is. I have got on my phone. Not just being like, oh, by the way, I like this song. And just like, yeah, I'm happy to either because I'm like, I think the only thing I'm thinking of that I couldn't do for the movie one is stuff like songs that are written for like Bond movies immediately, for example, because they're popular songs, but most of the time
They
for-
are written for.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I go in. Okay, well, I can't worry about those. That's
Yeah,
good.
If it wasn't written specifically for a film,
I'm
you
going to
can
cover
use it.
Skyfall. Damn it.
I like the most played thing more, I think, maybe. But I'm easy. Whatever.
You know.
well, if that's it, well, one person has expressed a slight preference. Shall we go with that?
Yeah, we go for the most popular songs
yeah,
on our devices.
yeah,
Or listening.
or however you listen to music.
Ever or just like in a given month?
Oh, good point.
I don't have the ability on mine to sort of pick any specific period, so just all time.
Yeah, mine all time. Okay. I don't know.
Oh, that's actually even cooler in a way because like
music tells me that.
my this month is like Jay-Z. So
I mean, you could. If you're having girl problems, you're happy, son. You know, no problems.
that's right.
I'm leaning on songs that were in a movie.
Fair. Okay with
But I
that.
don't mind.
Fight!
You know what that means.
Because that to me is more of a hunt for
Okay.
a song.
So I'm probably the tiebreaker then.
Okay, rock paper scissors then.
Between me.
You two.
Yeah.
You two decide.
Oh,
Rock-
rock paper scissors go. Or what would
Rock
you?
paper scissors go.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to do scissors.
Oh no, he's getting in my head open. Okay.
That's not my problem.
Play some epic music during this part while you're ready.
Rock,
Rock,
paper,
paper, scissors,
scissors.
shoot. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, right, got it.
Oh, okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Boom.
So it's your choice.
Top songs from our catalogs,
songs.
libraries,
Alright,
or whatever.
okay.
Cool.
All right, sweet.
I can recycle the movie one another time.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll
Have it
to go-
lingering around us now.
Mine will only tell me in a given month
That's fine.
what my top was. So
Like
I
my-
can just go with...
Like mine goes back for the past 2 years or so. It's not all
Yeah.
Just, I think if we come back next month and just be like, oh, the list is from like this
Or I can
month
look
or
at,
this
Or I
year.
can look at last year's Wrapped.
Yeah. Whatever list
also-
you
I'll do
bring.
either. Either's fine.
a
Basically,
list
what we're saying
of
is
most
fine.
listened to music.
in a given time frame.
Yeah.
One day that I actively...
Yeah.
Yeah, I just really wanted to
I
cover
listened to it
Jackson 5, so
yesterday.
just
Well,
listen
so
to
I'll
that.
do it as it is now because anything I do now could
Yeah.
could
You just screenshot what you if you've got a
artificially
list.
alter
Yeah.
it. So I'll do it based on what it is right now.
Yeah.
And go from there, and I've got some options there.
There's some things I've only been listening to like physically, Is that cool, or does it have to be like your digital
How else
library?
is
Has to be on some sort of
Point.
most listened to list. It's been generated
Cool.
on something, whether
Gotcha,
that's
gotcha.
on your computer, just on like CDs or MP3s or something, or whether that's on your streaming, or whether that's
Spotify it is then.
I love the idea of like he had present next month. He's already listened to our 4 songs while editing.
This month
There
I
is
covered a
something
lo-fi
you
version
can-
of Country Roads.
There is something you can link. I think you can link your Spotify to, to tell you your actual stats.
That would be
because
cool.
I did apparently see that the Wrapped of the Spotify Wrapped for last year, people were saying like
was bumped,
it was bumped
Oh.
by Spotify to put the artists they want you to think
Oh,
about.
It's like
interesting.
you've
higher.
definitely listened to Kendrick over and over and over
Yeah,
again. Like,
so
true, but
whereas like people were doing this other thing where you can log into your Spotify and it give you your actual stats.
Ah, that's cool. Yeah, that would
of,
be
like,
useful.
What you
actually.
listen to rather than what Spotify want you to see.
yeah,
I'll see if there's one for Apple Music as well.
and I'll clarify. It doesn't have to be the top thing. It can be anything in that list. Just as long
something
as it's
Off a list.
on the
Yeah.
list.
Well, Apple Music has a heavy rotation playlist which is updated like once a day.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Based on the last couple of months, and that gives me 25 songs I can pick from.
Yeah,
basically.
that sounds
Same.
cushy.
So that's probably what I'll do.
I think I have about 20-25 to go for as well, so
Yeah.
about the same as you, Josh. Yeah.
In which case, I already know what I'm going to do.
Cool.
Oh,
I've got
sweet.
Yeah.
I've got about 25 songs on my computer. My media player automatically generates a most played playlist, so I can have a look through that.
Yeah, I'll have to check when I get home as well, do the Apple thing. 'Cause I
Yeah.
don't think my phone will show me on that at the moment. But something to look forward to when I get home. Like, what have we listened to?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good challenge. I like that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool. Well done.
We did it.
Good radio, right? Oh. Yeah.
So what do we do now?
Thanks everybody for listening to and watching the podcast. We'll see you next month with songs from the top of our list of library top songs.
What we listen to.
Yes.
So you'll know what kind of weirdos we are.
Yeah.
It's just Barbie Girl and all
Yeah.
the remixes.
Mine's going to be a country song.
Well, we
Yeah,
get
that's
that.
the given.
But will it be a lo-fi country song?
It shall not be.
The one that's
It'll work. To be fair, it will be a country song actually, and an artist that none of you guys know.
yeah. The
Oh,
one,
sweet.
Because this is now into my deep cut territory.
Nice.
my thing I'm
Yeah,
looking
I
forward to
listen
the most is like because last week it was like every time you've brought a song you've heard it last minute in the middle of a shop on the radio. On your headphones, you're like, oh yeah, motivated gentleman. So imagine like next time you'll be like, hey, I have something that's wild. We're like, yay! We'll see how we go.
I've
from
been
there.
listening to this deliberately for a month.
Yeah. But I meant from your like
Yeah,
top
cook the books.
25 list, you're just like, oh, it's just crazy all the way down. You're just like, it's fine. And then Jungle Book at the middle. So just be prepared over and over again.
That's the thing. We all like so many different genres and stuff. It's gonna be a mixed bag, I bet.
That's another idea. If you come back with Jay-Z though, it's like that's all I've got. It's all the way down.
Don't wanna get that dirt off your shoulder.
50s rock and roll, JC.
Well, it's the one for the bitches. I don't know. I take it back.
Deary
I'd say that's
me.
the title of the episode, but I don't think we can.
One for the
But
bitches.
Asterisks.
one for the bitches.
This one for the bitch.
This one's for the bitches. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I'm gonna get cancelled. I know we only got.
We haven't even started.
Yeah, I
don't think
know.
you can't be cancelled if
Very
you're not,
true.
If you're not going.
Yeah.
If you're not on.
This is true. This is true. All right. On that note, bye everyone.
This one for the bitches.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
I take it back.